Can I invite Papanui-Innes Community Board to the chair, and while they're coming up, can I welcome the New Zealand Broadcasting School students who came to visit yesterday. I've got new Facebook friends, thank you. It's great. And I've been followed on Twitter by more people. Hey?
Complete.
My life is complete, yes.
Hi,
Welcome.
alrighty, let's
Ellie.
make this snappy. I just wanted to start off by saying we've mentioned Ada Wells already, I think this morning, or that might have been before the meeting opened, with regards to the rededication of the Camellia Room. And I just wanted to let you know, you may not have been aware that Ada was a teacher at St Albans School, which was at that stage situated in a poor working class part of Christchurch. With her husband's help, Ada put on concerts in aid of the school prize fund. In 1892, Ada, pregnant, sought 2 months' leave of absence. The North Canterbury Education Board was inclined to grant this. However, it was opposed by the headmaster, James Spate, and of course we've got a street called Spate Street in St Albans as well. And he wrote a long letter on the delinquencies of Mrs Wells. So rather than being granted a leave of absence, which as I said was 2 months around her pregnancy and birth of her child, she was fired. So times have changed. We still have a way to go. We still have a way to go, I might add, but yes. So I just thought I'd add that. So there's a link there with our ward today. All right, we're just going to let the pictures run through. The Edible Garden Awards I'll refer to in our report. There were a number of roading decisions, and I won't go through those individually. That did raise, though, however, the issue of how pedestrian islands or slowing traffic, calming traffic, seems to be able to happen reasonably quickly in some parts of Christchurch, and in our ward, Grampian Street being one example, and yet when it relates to schools or areas around children, it appears that there is no budget. Move on. And we've asked for more information on that. Community grants opened on Monday, as I'm sure you're aware. We noted that the application period is 4 weeks and not 6 weeks, as it usually is, but that's because it's been through a review period, and they normally open in February, so they're opening much later as well. Now, there is a Part A in our report, which I will come to and perhaps give you some more detail if you want it in a moment. The work on the Styx and the Kapatoni stream continues as well. There's some dedicated staff on that important part of our ward, and there is a survey undergoing at the moment. The work will commenced rather on the 10th of April and will be completed by the 30th of April. The St Albans Community Centre continues, and building hopefully will start at the beginning of August. There is a time capsule that was dug up or discovered when the old community centre fell down. That will be opened as per the very specific process that is outlined in the council's policies and procedures. At this stage, we're looking at putting a new time capsule into the new community centre and including schools and businesses in a kind of competition about what they would like to see in that capsule and why. There will be some guidelines, obviously, because a capsule isn't that big. And we want to include things like the cycleways, which are key in our area at the moment as well. The Garden Awards, which are just flicking through at the moment, they took place on the 6th of April at the Horticultural Society in Riccarton Ave next to the Hagley Oval area. That was the last time, actually, I think, that anything's going to be held in that building. We had 60 people attend. It was a great result this year with 48 entries in the awards, and that is up from 35. So it was a considerable number, and I think as people get back into their homes and re-establish their gardens, that was a real reason for that. And it was really awesome to see the local community groups getting involved and some new faces, which is important too. As far as the cycleways go, that has been and continues to be a major issue in our ward, as it is in others, and I know you'll be aware of that. We did ask last year and again 5 weeks ago for information on these as we moved to the commissioning of them on the 19th of May. We still haven't received any information, and with that date getting closer, of course we're being asked questions by our constituents, and we would very much like to be able to give them some answers. So we look forward to a briefing and better understanding the public education plans around promoting the cycleways, explaining where rubbish bins will go, how bikes will use them, and how cars will park around them. So So we do hope that that comes soon, because it's only, what's the date now? 8 days away. So the Part A in the schedule today, in the meeting agenda today. Are there any questions around that? Because we've got, it's clearly in your agenda, so that's the report actually, but I'll ask any questions around that if you want to ask.
Yep, Aaron?
It looks good and will make the area safer. The only question I had, Ali, was on page 57, the map didn't show all of the signalised crossings on that stretch of road. Was the only point I wanted to raise. I thought that was the one at Halliwell Ave's not marked, and of course the one that's just being installed now at Grasmere is not on there as well. I just thought that
okay,
was...
well, we can note that, and that was part
for us
of
that know the area well, it's irrelevant, but for the others that might not pass through,
yeah, sure, well, maybe
be lucky enough to go to Papanui regularly.
Maybe staff can note that, and stuff that we provide in the future, that perhaps that should be there, but definitely the board was well across that.
Yep. Are there any other questions on the Part A, on the report?
Can I just add that the staff and the mall owners staff worked extremely hard with the mall owners and getting to a place of conciliation and agreement.
I thought agreement might have been a bit strong, but
so yes,
you got there.
Yeah, we got there in the end, and I think that's all credit to them.
Not just that, they've actually established a really good working relationship now to move forward with. Yeah. So that's been a really good outcome.
Good.
The same with 5.1 with the sticks, kapatahi, work that the board has been doing with the community out there, set up a community working group with some board members on it, and out of that has resulted some extra work being done from the land drainage team, so that's been quite productive. It is a long haul, that one, out in the sticks, but we are getting there, and I think the community is starting to see a response from council with their queries. So that's another good example of a community working relationship with the board.
And can I add that's been improved as well, because I understand there's now been some specific resource applied to that as far as staff goes. Yeah. And I think that we have to keep that in mind as well. We keep asking our staff to do things, and comms is a part of that in our ward as well. And yet, you need people to do that and time to do that. And I think we have to keep that in mind as we keep asking our staff to do things. Thank you.
So, Mike, you'd like to move that, the report, and seconded by Pauline. So I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried.